Sometimes conflict makes for the best of friends. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 TV odd couples.
Full participation in the case.
Fine.
Not just lab work, everything.
What, you want spit in my hand? We're Scully and Mulder.
I don't know what that means.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at some of the best duos on TV whose personalities clash for the better. Despite the term odd couple, they don't actually have to be in relationships to qualify.
I play Jack Handel, a retired cop who shares an apartment with a retired criminal. We're the original odd couple.
Number 10, Shawn Spencer and Burton Guster, Psych.
Considering that Juliet and I are the lone couple in the group, I think it's only fair that we have our own grave.
Excuse me, after all we've been through, I've earned the right to rest beside you just as much as Jules.
You know that's right. These two lifelong friends bounce off one another in the best of ways. Shawn is a hyper-observant fake psychic, while Gus is his partner in fighting crime who also works as a pharmaceutical rep.
Push our way to the front, disarm him, force him to turn over carp, possibly involve pepper spray.
Can we do something a little more subtle? Fine.
Shawn's incorrigible goofiness often causes Gus to act as his straight man, as he's often exasperated by his buddy's antics. Though he's not above getting in on the fun on many occasions, their unorthodox and frequently silly attempts at crime fighting are enormously entertaining, and as varied as Shawn's many nicknames for Gus.
And this is my partner, Django Unchained.
I'm not amused by that. You want to try it again? I wouldn't if I were you.
Number 9, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson, Sherlock.
I need to get some air. We're going out tonight. Actually, I've got a date.
What?
To where two people who like each other go out and have fun. That's what I was suggesting. No, it wasn't.
A timely update of the original crime-fighting odd couple. Sherlock Holmes is an antisocial, brilliant consulting detective, and Dr. John Watson is his flatmate and partner. Sherlock is incredibly abrasive, condescending, and rude to just about everyone, including John, which gives his friend no end of headaches.
He used the death of her daughter somehow.
But that was ages ago. Why would she still be upset?
Not good? Bit not good, yeah.
While they frequently get on each other's nerves, and they even come to blows on several occasions, there is a genuine respect between them that's very touching, and they're some of the best detectives on our list, though not the last.
Do you think so? Of course it was. It was extraordinary. It was quite extraordinary. It's not what people normally say. What do people normally say? Piss off.
Number 8, Sam and Dean Winchester, Supernatural.
I'm sorry for psychologically scarring you.
Which time?
Shut up, seriously.
Hunting monsters is family business. The Winchester brothers carry on the tradition in grandiose style year after year, all the while contending with each other.
Bitch, jerk.
Sam is the more sensitive and emotional of the duo, and Dean is more closed off, hiding behind his macho, sarcastic attitude.
Bring me some pie!
Love me some pie.
These two siblings frequently disagree with each other, whether it's on family issues or how to stop the end of the world. When they're of like mind, though, they're a legendary pair of hunters whose exploits make even God take notice.
I've always had faith in you.
Number 7, Charlie and Alan Harper, 2.5 Men.
You are a deeply disturbed man, you know that? Move it, come on.
Oh, I'm deeply disturbed? Who showed up here in the middle of the night with his own sheets?
Hey, at least I care what I sleep on, or should I say who I sleep on.
While we're on the subject of brothers, these two dysfunctional siblings are another great fraternal odd couple. Charlie is a hard-drinking, rich, womanizing jerk, while his brother Alan is neurotic, nervous, and unlucky in the extreme.
I applaud the gusto with which you approach life.
Thank you.
That being said, are you out of your freaking mind?
Whether it's Charlie's latest promiscuous escapade or Alan's newest run of bad fortune, these two always find a way to argue or make things worse for the other, whether intentionally or not. Despite getting along like wet cats and rabid dogs, Charlie and Alan do love each other deep down. Really, really deep, like core of the earth deep.
You are old.
You are oddly shaped.
Number 6, Temperance, Bones Brennan, and Seeley Booth. Bones.
Come on, baby, you can do more than
Initially, all these two have in common is first names that they're not overly fond of. Brennan is a forensic anthropologist whose education and temperament have isolated her from much of society and its accompanying graces and popular references, while Booth is a more down-to-earth FBI agent she consults with.
Cops get stuck, we bring in people like you know, squints. You know, squinting things.
Oh, you mean people with very high IQs and basic reasoning skills?
Bones and Booth frequently disagree over everything, from their investigations to religion. But out of that conflict comes a great work dynamic and sizzling sexual tension that eventually turns into a romance and a family.
You are irrational and impulsive, superstitious and exasperating. You believe in ghosts and angels and maybe even Santa Claus.
Number 5. Rustin, Rust Cohle, and Marty Hart. True detective.
Just want you to stop saying odd shit, like you smell a psychosphere or you're in someone's faded memory of a town. Just stop.
Given how long it's taken for me to reconcile my nature, I can't figure I'd forgo it on your account, Marty.
The detectives that act as the focus for the first season of this anthology series, Rust Cohle is an intense, cynical, and brilliant detective, while his partner Marty is a more grounded family man, albeit a philandering one. Through the season's flashback structure, the audience gets to see the development of their partnership, which starts because Marty is the only one who can stand Rust, though they're not without frequent disagreements.
This man right here is the only pal you had. You understand that?
Him. I ain't his pal.
Although they do have a violent falling out, they're actually more alike than either is willing to admit, and they ultimately reunite to solve an old case.
Why would I ever help you? Because you have a debt.
Number 4. Richard Castle and Katherine Kate Beckett. Castle. In yet another police-oriented duo who are opposites, Richard Castle is a successful man-child of a novelist whose new inspiration, Detective Kate Beckett, is much more serious.
This whole bad boy charm thing that you've got going might work for bimbets and celebutantes. Me? I work for a living, so that makes you one of two things in my world. Either the guy who makes my life easier, or the guy who makes my life harder.
Castle's goofy literary approach to crime often clashes with Beckett's evidence-based one, though their personalities spark wonderfully off of each other.
I hate this case.
I know, isn't it great?
This leads to a fantastic relationship, both working and romantic, though the latter takes them a while. They may have their differences, but when they're on the same wavelength, usually when they're talking about a case, they can practically finish each other's sentences.
He needed the helicopter to transfer the drugs out here.
And why he slept with Natalia and greased palms?
He needed an approval to get the helipad.
Yes, much less risky to move your product in a helicopter rather than boat or car. No cop is going to pull you over.
Number 3. Bert and Ernie. Sesame Street. These two Muppet roommates are definitely a mismatched pair, both in terms of personality and appearance.
I am messy.
Really messy.
But you don't mind if I am messy. If I'm messy, you don't mind it. That's what friends are for.
Bert is skinnier, has a unibrow, and the stripes on his sweater are vertical, while Ernie is wider, has no eyebrows, and the stripes on his sweater are horizontal. As far as their personalities go, Bert is introverted, responsible, and grumpy, even preferring bland foods. This contrasts with the more extroverted Ernie, whose naive curiosity often gets him into trouble.
What are you thinking about, Bert?
Oh, my favorite number.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gee, that sounds, boring, Bert.
Despite how different they are, these two have remained best friends for around half a century. Who says that bananas and oranges can't get along?
Ernie, I would still like you if you wore fruit on your head, bounced like a ball, and said, rutabaga, rutabaga.
You would?
Yes, Ernie, I would.
Oh.
But I would like you more if you didn't.
Number 2. Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. The X-Files.
It's a monster.
Yeah, this is how I like my Mulder.
So you're agreeing with me?
No! You're bat crap crazy.
We've had plenty of odd couple police partners on our list, but we'd argue that the best example is that of those two FBI investigators of the paranormal. Mulder is the believer, whose belief in aliens and other unproven phenomena is legendary, while Scully is a consummate skeptic.
Well, it's obviously not a vampire.
Well, why not?
Because they don't exist?
However, the many bizarre cases they deal with do lead Scully to be more open-minded as the series goes on. Their opposing approaches make for entertaining investigations, and their excellent chemistry also leads to a romance, though it's not quite as overt as some of our other entries.
Scully, you look so adorbs just there. All curled up on a ball in the booth of a skanky bar with your fingers wrapped around the grip of an assassin's Glock.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
What country am I from?
Is it racist if I say Africa?
Yes, and Africa is not a country. I am from Senegal.
Cuddy called. I know. Saw the caller ID.
Young girl, anaphylactic shock.
You answered.
Turns out that's what stops the ringing.
Trying to help you, Spock.
Ask me no further questions. I will not answer.
I order you to report to the sickbay.
Sickbay.
Complete examination. McCoy's waiting.
Number 1. Felix Unger and Oscar Madison, The Odd Couple.
Fix your tie. Oh, you fix it yourself.
You're wearing a clip-on tie to a show. Here, put it back and fix your... You're wearing a cardboard handkerchief.
Who else could we choose for our top pick but the original Odd Couple? Felix and Oscar are both divorced men who share an apartment, but their similarities end there. Felix is a finicky and erotic man who seems to find fault in everyone, including himself. Meanwhile, Oscar is a careless, short-tempered slob.
No, I forgot the napkins. Listen, when I was down...
We need the napkins for the game.
Who cares about the napkins? Will you...
I care.
Felix, the guys are coming to play poker. They can wipe their mouths on the money. Will you let me tell you about how...
The dichotomy between their personalities and the conflicts that result from it, as well as their unconventional friendship, essentially created the modern odd couple archetype, finding a place on stage, in film, and on TV multiple times, though the first TV series is one of the better iterations.
I must say, the squab looks wonderful.
Ah, well, I figured that since Lord Chesterfield here was dressing for the occasion, I'd go all out. Will you look at that?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.